So this is the Ripon College Spring 2024 Spain program in Barcelona. And this is a view from Sagrada Familia, isn't it? Fantastic view of Barcelona. You can see the ocean there. So to introduce ourselves, if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Memuna Kahn. I'll be the faculty director in Spain, but you know me here as a biology professor and also a professor that teaches environmental studies. I've been involved in study abroad for many years. I've taken students to Ely, Minnesota, as Trista knows. I've taken students to Costa Rica a few times, and I did a long-term study abroad in 2013. I did that for the fall semester in Tanzania with 21 students from students that were from all over the ACM. And so I've done these before, so I feel pretty confident that this program is going to be pretty great. And so, Vicki, you're here because I'll hand it to you.
I was going to say I'm equally confident the program is going to be great and excited that Dr. Kahn will be our inaugural director. I've had the privilege of living in Barcelona twice, and I spent the spring of 2018 with 18 students in Barcelona. The program that we're introducing at Ripon College is set up in a very consistent manner. And Dr. Kahn and I had an opportunity to spend some time in Barcelona this summer. And I'm excited to be here to answer questions, but again, am confident in her ability to walk us through the program.
Yeah, so today what I'm going to do is to give you a program overview and basically give you some details about the academics, what your living arrangements, and then how much it costs and when things are due. We'll follow it up with questions. We can do that in real time, and if you think of other questions, you can contact me. Students should contact me, and parents should contact Vicki. So there's a lot of terms, so I wanted to give you a little background about how the program works. I've had a lot of questions from my own family about what's BSAE and what's SIS and where does Ripon fit into it. So we've got the Ripon College Spring program in Barcelona, and there's two entities that are making it happen. So the Barcelona Study Abroad Experience, or BSAE, this is the body that's on the ground in there, and it provides the infrastructure. So they're the ones that find the homestays. They're the ones that put together the class schedule. They're the ones that figure out the cultural activities that happen weekly. There are some day trips. There's weekend trips, and then and they have offices. They have offices in Barcelona. In this building, there's also the School for International Studies. So there's classrooms. And so, and we call this the School for International Studies. You may also see it as SIS, S-I-S. And that's the academic part of the program. And so BSAE and SIS, they talk to each other. BSAE is hiring the adjuncts, not the adjuncts, but the professors that teach at the school. Right. So your academics, the other courses that you're going to be taking are within the School for International Studies. And then all of the infrastructure that it makes this program great is provided by BSAE. Vicki, do you have anything to add?
I was going to say, I've been working with BSAE almost 15 years. So they're going to be celebrating their 15th anniversary in July of 2024, and we chose to partner with them because of this successful experience that I've had over the course of a decade, and the service that they provide is unsurpassed.
Great. So the program at a glance is the course you would be arriving on January 4th, and you'd be leaving presumably on April 20th. And so that would be your spring semester. You'll be taking classes at the School for International Studies, and then you'll be taking with professors from them, and then one course with me. You'll be living with a host family. And each one of these bullet points, we have more details as we go on in the presentation. So you'll be living with the host family. BSAE provides opportunities to be involved in cultural activities like cooking classes, and excursions to really neat places, and weekend trips as well within Spain. So the BSAE, they provide that support team, that on-site staff to make this whole thing go smoothly. Let me make sure. Whoops, program at a glance. So you'll be taking 4 classes, one with me, and I'll give you details about that. It's an environmental studies class, and then 3 elective courses through the School for International Studies. The grades are sent directly to Ripon College. So the courses have already been approved to count toward graduation by Ripon. It's already been through our system. Oops, okay. So the course that I'll be teaching is called Topics in Environmental Studies, Barcelona Edition. And I'm teaching it at 2 different levels. I'm teaching it at a non-majors level, and that would be you'd enroll in Environmental Studies 200, or at a major level, so Environmental Studies 300. So basically it'll be the same material and experiences, but obviously majors are going to be taking slightly different exams, and they will have more in-depth assignments and a full semester long project to do. I see Barcelona as our classroom, so I've been working with the BSAE to figure out field trips that we could take. I've asked to be scheduled on Tuesdays in the afternoon, so this doesn't interfere with some other things that you might be doing. We'll be getting local experts in as guest speakers. There's this person from the University of Barcelona who's very involved in sustainability who can come talk to us. And then field trips to places like Montseny Natural Park. Albufera is part of a weekend trip. So we do a weekend trip to Valencia, and there is this wetland that Valencia is actually known for its rice. And, wild rice grows in wetlands, rice is a plant that likes its feet wet. So we will go to this wetland and learn about the biodiversity and learn about how it's being used for both human and wildlife. Other things that we kind of have planned is beach cleanup to sort of talk about plastics and see what they're doing. So Barcelona has committed to being carbon neutral, I think, by 2050. And they've been doing a whole lot of things to make this happen. And so it's a really neat place to study environmental studies because it's very different from where we live right now. So that's one course, and every student that goes will take that course. So the School for International Studies, you'll be choosing courses from them, and they have fairly small class sizes, 8 to 25 students. They too are very focused on using Barcelona as a classroom. So there's immersive field studies. They have guest speakers too. The faculty that teach at the school are both local and international. And I'll tell you about the course that I sat in on. We have stressed in the materials that you've already received that you do not need Spanish language, right? So some of the, if you have Spanish language, there's classes for you to take. And if you don't have Spanish language, there's classes for you to take. You do get a primer in that first week. They do have a Spanish, sort of like a crash course in Spanish to help you adjust, because your homestay will be speaking Spanish as well. Okay, so this is the giant list. I just threw it up here of courses that you can take. I sat in on food and culture in the Mediterranean basin when I was there in July, taught by Xavier. It was a small class. It was taught very similar to ours, conversational. And he's been doing this for over 10 years. So he knows what he's doing. I kind of looked him up. And I felt very comfortable. The students were very comfortable. And he basically is a historian. Right, so he's actually teaching the history of the Mediterranean through food and culture, and I was fairly impressed. This is very different from my experience in Tanzania. In Tanzania, courses taught at the University of Dar es Salaam, there was a big culture shock for the students being taught because it was very lecture based, no questions in any of that. So I think the transition being taught at CEAS, taking those classes is going to be it's going to be an easy transition for you.
I was
So
going to add,
Yep.
I completely agree. I've had the benefit of sitting in on many of these classes. And one of the things that's new is Barcelona's emphasis on marginalized populations. And so were you going to talk about that in terms of some of the TOTUS opportunities?
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
So in addition to this long list, these are all hyperlinks that will take you to the syllabi of the courses. But one of the things that we haven't developed as strongly at Ripon is classes regarding diversity. And to me, this is a tremendous opportunity to take classes that you might not have access to in Ripon, Wisconsin. So some may, and Dr. Kahn will talk about this further, some may apply to your major, to your minor, but all of these classes apply to being world citizens. And so I just look at this class and I think if I only had the time to take every one of them, it would be challenging to know from where I would start or which classes I would take. And I think later in the presentation, Dr. Kahn's going to talk a little more about our, I'll say, encouragement that you consider a Spanish language or Spanish culture class.
Right. Yeah. So you'll notice on the right-hand side are a list of Spanish classes. So you can take Spanish while you're there. So even though you don't have you may not have any Spanish now, or maybe just high school level, you can take Spanish while you're there. I also might encourage you, if you have space in your schedule, to take Tim Reed's Intro Spanish, which actually I'm going to be sitting in on. Because I took French in high school, and I've been doing Duolingo, but I think it would be quite useful to talk with Tim in class and the other students to get used to speaking. Okay, yeah. So as she mentioned, every link goes to a syllabus, so you can take a look at the syllabus, and then that photo is typical tapas that we took when we were there. Very yummy stuff. Manchego cheese, something called pan con tomate, which is just bread with tomato, and these beautiful jamon, little like prosciutto pieces. And I haven't eaten dinner, so I'm hungry.
Croquetas.
And then in the back are the croquetas, which are just like deep fried goodness, like little potatoes, mashed potatoes with good things in them. Okay. Okay, so you're going to take one class with me, and then you have a choice of 3 classes with CEAS. You can take one of those classes, one of those 3 elective classes can be something called the Global Internship Seminar. And that means that you can have an internship in Barcelona. And that would be where you work, usually in the mornings, at a company or a nonprofit. So if you choose this option, you would take 1 course with me, 2 courses at CEAS in this internship, and Barcelona SAE will work with you to find the right fit. So you would be filling out a form, I think, an application, really. You'll be sharing your CV, and then they'll take that information and try and find a placement. Before you get accepted, you'll actually have a conversation with the company that you would be interning with. BSAE will then check in with both parties and see if it's a good fit. If it's not, then they'll go and continue to try and find another one, right? So they really try and tailor the internship for your interests and what the company wants. I did meet a student who was doing an internship over the summer. She was working for a social media startup company. And I think this is a good example. So she did not have Spanish language very much. The people that she worked with had some English. Most of her work was computer-based, where she was basically trolling the internet for TikTok talent, and sort of reaching out to them to get them on board with this company. And she said it was working out really, really well. They were able to communicate their needs. And I also talked to the people at the company, and they said they were very pleased with her as well. So that would be 15 hours a week beyond your other classes. And that Spanish language are not required, but again, it opens up more opportunities to you if you have some Spanish language. Anything to add? Nope.
No, I've also placed students in the past in hospitals and clinics, in startups that allowed them to be entrepreneurs. Even had a student who worked with the football team there to provide some athletic training. So lots of things. And when Dr. Kahn and I were there, we were exploring possible music internships. So again, the opportunities exist in such a metropolitan city.
Yeah. Okay, so this is sort of the summary of academic timeline. By mid-September, we'll know who's going on the program, and that's when you would choose your elective courses, and you would work with your Ripon College advisor to figure out how these courses would count toward your major, would count toward graduation, or any minor requirements. We have a syllabi, so that's really good, right? Because then we can share that with the departments in question. So January 4th, so this semester you would be doing that. You'd be getting your internships all set up if you wanted to do that. So you want to make that decision fairly quickly, right? So that they have time to place you. January 4th, you arrive, you get oriented and integrated. So they do that crash course in culture and language. So you get there, and then 10 days later, your classes start. Classes are scheduled from Monday to Thursday. And so this gives you time to explore Barcelona, to explore Spain, because you basically have a three-day weekend. And that's the intention. The intention is not for you to hole yourself up in the homestay and study all weekend. The intention is that you get out and you experience this wonderful place that you are now living. There is a spring break, and it starts on the 25th of March. This is a really good time for family to visit. Then final exams would be the week of 15th of April. It officially ends on the 20th of April. And then I think I mentioned this before, those final grades get sent to Ripon College and will be on your transcript. So that concludes the academic part. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about living in Barcelona.
And this view is from Park Wall.
Oh, is that what this is, Park Wall?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a Gaudi village. You can see his bright colors and designs.
It looks like icing. I just want to eat it up. Okay, I'm hungry. All right. Okay, so you get there, and you'll arrive at the Barcelona airport. There's people there to help you get on your way to your homestay. In that first week, you're welcomed. You get cultural, academic, and an internship orientation. They feed you lunch, and every student is assigned a program mentor who's a staff member at BSAE, who can help you with logistics, will help you with homestay issues or roommate issues, and that kind of thing. So that person's with you, assigned to you the entire time. Okay. So in that first week, you'll be touring the city, and there's this where they want you to really feel comfortable. So the Spanish language learning, sessions about history, diversity, sustainability, and whatnot. So before you even start your classes, they want to make sure you're very comfortable where you are. Ooh, whoa, hang on. There we go. So in this program that we've designed, every student will be in a homestay, usually with, I think, Vicki, we want, often it's 2 people in the same homestay, right? So sharing a room with another BSAE student. Every homestay has internet access, and basically are providing you with 2 meals a day for your stay there. You're responsible for your lunch, but we will provide you a stipend of 60 euros a week, right? So you'll be getting that stipend, so you have money to spend for lunch. And eating is a very important part of Spanish culture, right? So don't skip your meals, because half the joy is eating there. So you'll end up, and the nice thing about homestays is then you have an expert living with you who can help you navigate things too, right? You have got somebody who wants to hear about your day. You have somebody who wants to speak Spanish with you, somebody who wants to help you. And so you're cared for, basically, in these homestays. So then there's these cultural activities, and these are available like weekly, right? So Spanish cooking class, the the student I talked to, she loved this cooking class. And apparently, they want to make sure everybody gets a chance. And they were trying to sign up more than once, and they had to be told, look, you got to let these other people have a chance first. I went to the flamenco dance class, which was super fun. It was an hour, and she packed a whole lot into an hour. You learned a lot, and other types of things. You'll see soccer games there. And then the really neat thing is, so you go to these, and there will be local students who go, right? So local college students are going to be at these cultural events, and there's been neat friendships that have formed. They're also a resource. Say you want to play football, right? These folks may have connections and be able to get you hooked up, right? So, and then also a great resource for practicing Spanish, and they want to be there, right? And this is something that study abroad programs know it works, right? And I'm just going to give you, in Tanzania, when I was there, we tried to get this started, but we didn't have the infrastructure. So this was something, when I heard that Barcelona SAE was doing this, I got super, super duper excited, because I was like, this is fabulous. It's fabulous for everyone involved. The cultural exchange and just having that knowledge there. So included in your semester, there's 2 day trips included. One happens during that first 2 weeks, that integration week, and then that other one is a day trip. I think, I can't remember where it is right now. I don't know if it's been completely decided. And then there's a weekend trip, and the weekend trip is Valencia. That's when we also do our trip to the Albufera Marsh. And on these trips, you get on a bus, and you're with this program, right? We have our program, but it's not a bus for like 10 people. It's a bus for all of the BSAE students, right? So when you go there, you're going to be in a community of students, and at these daily, at these cultural events that they post weekly, or these day trips, or these weekend trips, you are going to be mixed up with students from all over the country. And maybe I think and also other places in Europe, right? And so you're going to have lots of opportunities to meet other people. And so these are, and BSA staff always goes along too. And I'm going, I'll be there. So I wanted to tell you, this trip I'm very excited about. This is an optional Morocco trip. So it's an extra cost option, but it's a weekend trip to Morocco. And it's all inclusive, and it's a homestay. So again, you get to really learn about the culture by living with a family. It's 4 days and 3 nights. And here we are in Spain, and we're just so close to Northern Africa, and it's such a different culture, and also a culture that has really influenced Spain. So I highly recommend that. And this one, if you're interested, we can tell you. I mean, in later the additional fee, right? You have to pay for your plane ticket, and then I think it's $300. So BSAE also provides you the infrastructure that you need to be safe, right? So you will have international health insurance through them. You will have access to a phone number in case you need help, right? So there's a 24-hour phone that you can use. Everyone is trained to deal with situations that may arise. They have partnerships with doctors' offices, hospitals, and mental health providers, should you need that. And I was really impressed with this as well. So the other neat thing that they do is they're in contact with you, right? So you're taking these classes, and then when you get there, you're going to they'll have your email or your chat, and they'll send a weekly cultural agenda, which sort of tells you what's going on in Barcelona, and you can talk to each other about, hey, I'm going to go do this, and sort of form groups of people that want to do things together by chatting with each other. And they have things that are free, things that are low cost, so you can enjoy the city without feeling like you're spending gobs and gobs of money. They also have a list called the Barcelona Bucket List. And this one's kind of fun because you participate and then you do some social media posts, and then every month you win something, right? You will be receiving this Barcelona student guide, which is super, super detailed. The student I talked to said she loved it. Absolutely loved how extensive it was. Yeah. So they give you a lot of support that way as well. So finally, financials, right? The reason why you're all here, perhaps. So how much will it cost? Well, it's going to cost the same as if you had stayed here. So college tuition, room and board, that covers your academics and your homestay. And then there's a $6,000 program fee. So there's $6,000 on top of your tuition, room and board. But what does that pay for? Well, it pays for your visa fee. It pays for your airline ticket. It pays for your Metro Pass. So when you get there in that first week, you'll get a Metro Pass, which basically allows you to use the Metro to get everywhere in the city the entire time that you're there. When I was there, we used the Metro, and it was clean and safe and fast and nice. I liked it. And this also is what's paying for your program, the day trips and the weekend excursions. Okay. So the things, say you want to travel to Madrid on a weekend, you're going to pay for that yourself. So you may want to save more money for that. That being said, if you have a financial barrier in terms of the program fee, you should talk to us. We have developed a page of scholarships. If any of you are Silver or Gold Award Girl Scouts, there's a $1,000 scholarship that you can ask for. We mentioned on the website, there's this Gilman scholarship that's due in October, and it's quite extensive, but you can talk to me about, strategies for filling out the paperwork. The Barcelona SAE actually has set up a Fund My Travel site that you can you can create your own page and basically get donations from friends and family to help you make your trip.
And because we at Ripon College are so invested in study abroad and providing opportunities for study abroad, we also have some internal scholarships. So just as Dr. Kahn said, let us be involved in your decision-making. And if your barrier is financial, we want to remove those barriers.
Yeah. So just talk to us, please talk to us. So the timeline is now, if you're at all interested in going, and if you didn't do it the first time we asked you to, make sure you find your passport if you have one and look at the expiration date and make sure it expires after you get back. Right? If you don't have a passport, you need to apply for one ASAP and actually do an expedited application. You want to schedule that meeting with your academic advisor soon in September to choose your C's courses. Consider registering for a Spanish class, and watch me trip over my words. We have 2 more information sessions, 31st of August. Both of them are in the Heritage Room during Brown Bag Lunch. So that'll be students and faculty. And then there's one during Golden Hour on the 5th of September. Bring your friends, right? If you know other people who might be interested, bring them or tell them about those other in-person sessions. So the application and $1,000 deposit is due at the president's office on the 15th of September. And we need to get moving on this because behind the scenes, we have to get your visa and we have to buy the plane tickets. And we have to get BSAE started on getting you those internships should you want those. The remainder would be due the 13th of November, or evidence that you have a scholarship that's going to pay for it. And then the spring tuition for Spain participants is going to be due the 18th of December. So that we have everything, all your ducks in a row before you arrive on January 4th. So that being said, if you have financial difficulty, if you need more flexibility, please communicate with us by emailing studyabroad@ripon.edu. And that's, what did I do? We're back. And that's for the program fee, right? For that $6,000, right to studyabroad@ripon.edu. If you have issues with tuition, right, room and board, Ripon tuition, room and board, please contact Linda Kinziger. So that ends the I'm talking at you portion of the webinar. And I'm going to unshare this and we can we can talk and you guys can ask questions. Okay, so we kind of got ahead of ourselves and sort of opened it up to all of you, and we lost a few people, it looks like. You guys can ask us questions, right? What do you want to add, Vicki?
I was just going to say there aren't any questions yet in the Q&A, but I'll offer one since I don't know the year in school for Jacob or Trista. But one of the things that our faculty voted in this past spring is for students who study abroad, they could meet the requirements for Catalyst 210, the cultural competence, by studying the semester in Spain. Of course, there are a few things that would need to be completed during that time, but Dr. Kahn has that information if that's of interest. So it's nice to have such a small group.
Yeah, I think you guys can unmute yourselves, and if you don't want to speak, you can email us questions. Or you can type them into the Q&A.
I'll add, while they're thinking about their questions or typing into the Q&A. So because we want to launch this in spring of 24, the recruitment cycle, the billing cycle is more condensed than it will be in future years. And so I'm really excited for Dr. Kahn's willingness to help students with their application. It's not intended to be cumbersome, but we do want to get to know you and know your interest. So Dr. Kahn can help navigate some of the things that you might encounter while studying abroad. We have a maximum number of students at 22 with one study abroad director. And we are committed, even if we don't reach that maximum number, we're committed to making this available to students in spring of 24. So when she said, bring your friends to these informational sessions, we hope that you'll be excited enough to begin to talk to others about joining. And we do have a list of students who have expressed interest, most of whom aren't with us tonight.
Anyone?
I have
Anyone?
a question.
Hey, Trista.
Hi.
got it.
So, I'm not sure if it's like directly related to, I guess, the program itself, but say if there's like, so I know the environmental economics class is only offered in the spring every other year, and that would be this next spring, and I haven't taken it yet, and that's a required course. So would there be like a way for me to take either like if there's another required course somebody else is missing as well, like either in the summer or like an online class from another college, or I guess I don't know exactly how that works, but
So I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, but Vicky, when you were doing it with the nursing students, they actually were taking some classes back at Illinois Wesleyan.
I'm sorry, I was typing in the chat.
Mhm.
We had some synchronous classes. Now, what's really important is our faculty are completely behind this program. And so we will work with you to talk with your academic advisors and professors about the possibility of course substitutions, the possibilities of how you could use, for example, some modifications of a specific course to meet and to be true to your major or minor requirements. So I think of this first group as a group of pioneers, so that the question you're asking will really set the stage for future students. You asked about a course that's offered in spring only. There may be classes that are offered in spring only that could be taken a different semester, or classes that aren't being offered and you would switch your course requirements to something offered this fall. So even having the flexibility of doing that. What we haven't talked about, Trista, is the possibility of taking a Ripon class synchronously from Spain. And so to me, what would make sense is Dr. Kahn could help you navigate an ES class in a way that there's maximum flexibility with what you're taking, and again, how to meet your requirements and not have to make a choice of studying in Spain or completing your major, but instead how we can work with faculty to assure that both are happening. Does that make sense?
yes, it does. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and so the what I was typing in the Q&A is the link that Dr. Kahn showed in this slideshow takes you directly to things like course syllabi and scholarships that are available. We also have the list of scholarships on the website. There's a whole frequently asked questions section and a link to scholarships, but with both of your consents, we can make these slides available to you with active links and make sure that you are completely familiar with what the options are. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't publish your names. We would just continue to communicate and say, so for example, if a student is Pell eligible, they can apply for the Gilman, which, as Dr. Kahn said, is up to $5,000. For students who aren't Pell eligible, but who rely on the scholarship money that Ripon provides, of course, your financial aid travels with you, but that $6,000 fee can be steep for some students. So we've got some donor-supported funds that we haven't posted, and that's why we want to have those individual conversations. What other questions? This one I'll answer live. So the application is in fact available on the website, and it's live. It's been live for a couple of weeks, and we have several students who have made some progress on that application. I don't have the link right in front of me. It's something that we can email directly to those of you on tonight's webinar, and we'll make available in future slide presentations where there's a link specific to that application. It's a 3-question app, and what it really is determining is, what is it about study abroad that's exciting? What kind of experiences have you had in the past with study abroad or study away, as well as what do you hope to gain out of a full semester abroad? So the whole intent is to get to know you as an applicant, and the decision is Dr. Kahn. So if you don't know her, well, get to know her now. As she'll be choosing this group of pioneers who go first.
So Jacob's asked, is there a date? And it would be right after applications are due the 15th, and so it would be really right after that.
Yeah, so Dr. Kahn will be making decisions no later than September 15th. So the applications are live, and you've got almost a month to complete them. Hopefully you won't wait a month, but we were once college students too, so you could wait a month.
Some of us still procrastinate quite a bit. Jacob, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and I think, because I don't anticipate this first year that we'll reach the maximum of 22, I think Dr. Kahn will probably make rolling decisions.
Oh, okay.
So,
hey,
you're empowered to make rolling decisions.
I'm all on that. So get your application in so that I can send you an acceptance letter. I'm gonna have to draft an acceptance letter.
I have one to share with you.
Oh, she does. It's already done. Fantastic.
So I have a question. So I don't know if, I guess I've already forgot, but about the like internships, like would we just speak to you guys first if we were interested about that, or?
Yeah, so what you would do is you would tell us that you were interested in the internship CEAS class, right? The School of International Studies Global Internship. You're going to say that you want to have that as your elective, one of your 3 electives, right? And then we will pass your name along to the BSAE, who will then contact you. And you'll probably, from what I understand, there's probably a survey. I don't know if that first touch with BSAE is a phone call or a survey, but they're gonna ask you questions about what kind of internship you're looking for, right? And so then there's going to be back and forth to figure out a placement for you.
And so you'll notice on the application, there's a place to check you're interested in an internship. And I think the more you would sit down with Dr. Kahn anyway to kind of talk about the semester, and the more detail you can offer her as the two of you talk about, what can't you get in this region? What could you get that would set you apart from other Ripon students or graduates across the nation? And I'll tell you that my former students who participated in study abroad, it probably permeated the conversations they were having with recruiters as they were thinking about their first job or first opportunities or graduate school placement. So many people wanted to know about their study abroad experience because it set them apart. So choosing an internship can do the same thing. We would want to make sure that the experience is a good one.
Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, I would say it did.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So is there like a minimum number of students that you have to get, or is it just like, even if only like 5 people say signed up, is this like for sure going to happen?
Yep, we will go with 5 students. And I'll tell you, Trista, a story. So I've been involved in this study abroad program for many years, and 5's a great number because the very first year we offered this at my former university, we had 5 students, and every year after that, we had in excess of 20. And what's important about that is it's new. It's new for students, and your first group really gets the opportunity to set the stage for future students. So Dr. Kahn's the inaugural director. We'll choose the director for spring of 25 this fall, and they'll visit Dr. Kahn and the students who are in Barcelona before they themselves go in spring of 25. And so it took, at my former university, it took those 5 students just really talking about how life transforming their semester abroad was for other students to get excited and participate in future years.
Nice. Well, at least from me, I don't know if I really have many more questions off the top of my head. I feel like you guys did a good job of informing us. So,
Oh, thank you, Trista.
oh, of course.
Okay, well, I mean, if with no other questions are showing up on the Q&A, we've been here for about 50 minutes. That's about a class period time. And you know who we are, you know how to get in touch with us if you have any other questions. And I don't know if you're on campus yet, right? I'm in my office this week and next week. I would email first, like don't stop, make sure that I'm going to actually be in my office, but I have been coming in every day. So if you want to talk to me in person about some things, I'm available to you before the start of the semester.
And you noticed on the slides, if you have families who have some questions, I'm glad to be a resource for them. I really appreciated Dr. Kahn's emphasis on health and safety. When I've interacted with parents in the past, that's been some of their most critical questions that they wanted to know about. The other thing that I'll add is for the students who are chosen to participate in this inaugural program, we'll have several pre-departure meetings here on Ripon College's campus to get you prepared from everything from, what should I pack in my suitcase to, what am I going to do with my SIM card for my phone, all those types of things. Some of it we've tried to put in the Q&A that exist, and we'll be available to answer questions from families or from you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, barring any other last minute questions, 3, 2, 1. We'll end this webinar. It's my first webinar ever. And look forward to hearing from you and seeing your applications come in, and then getting this going. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Hang on. Is there one more question? Oh. Thank you, Gary. Okay. Talk to you guys later, and have a great whatever's left of the summer. Hold on to it. Enjoy it. And we'll see you on campus.
You guys as well.
Yep. Bye-bye.